Your blonde bombshell here with you, and it's time for the Raw review. If you haven't noticed, I'm all decked out for this because I have my unstable necklace in support of my Dean Ambrose, and I have my unstable t-shirt in a support again of my Dean Ambrose. And I wanted to go ahead and give you the rundown of what happened on Raw and my views on it. I may skip over a few parts. If I do, that's just because I really wasn't paying attention that much. You know, it's amazing that I was watching the show, but yet time has changed me in a little bit, that not everything is as important as it once was, which is really strange, but maybe that's just because I'm getting older. Anyway, was in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and of course they had to have the look back as they started off Raw tonight with Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. I don't know about you, but they're going to wear this out before we even get to SummerSlam. Yes, it's great that they're having a feud, but honestly, if that's the only thing you're going to build the 4-hour SummerSlam around, which Triple H informed us of tonight, that it was going to be the first night for first, and that SummerSlam was going for 4 hours, and of course, you know, Steph was out there hyping up the pay-per-view, and then Hunter announced that Big Show was going to face off with Dean Ambrose. Stephanie announced that Paige was going to face off with Sasha Banks, which I'm not a big Banks fan. I know she's trying to be an AJ wannabe, and that's just not going to fly with the fans out there. Triple H has also another one that he added to the card, which was Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Stephanie announced Alicia Fox, Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Then, of course, Seth Rollins, who was out there in the middle of the ring with the Authority, he took the mic away and he started bragging, saying that he was basically the best champ that we've ever seen, which I thought was a big slap in the face to Hunter. Being out there with him in the ring, if it was the old days, let me put it that way, where Hunter was in the ring and he was ring general in those days, he would have taken the mic back and been like right up in his grill and going, "What do you mean?" And that would have probably sold the Click week a little bit better on the WWE Network, I think. Of course, we have then an interruption, which was John Cena. He come out and exchanged words with Rollins, more or less. Tried to build up a feud, which that feud tonight I thought was just honorable mention. It wasn't even really a great feud. The match, on the other hand, yes, it was a great match, but the feud, to me, it didn't really have that generational heat. Of course, they wanted to build up that it was a night of firsts, and to me, I don't know, it was just lacking. Of course, they announced Steve Austin was going to host the next podcast next week, Monday, after Raw, and their guest will be Paige. But Dean Ambrose faced off with The Big Show, and Miz came out to do commentary. Dean, he was really doing his all in this match. And what I liked was the end of the match, where he sidestepped and Big Show ran and he hit the guardrail. That was classic. And I love you, Dean. And it was just, even though you lost the match, you did really prove yourself in that match. The Fandango versus Neville, I don't even think that was honorable mention. Neville, he doesn't do anything for me. Him and Stardust both. That whole comic book feud, I think they could shelf it. I don't think it has any place on Monday Night Raw. The next match that was really brought up was the let's see, they came back from break, and then it was Paige and basically the Divas talking backstage. Again, a waste of time. I mean, I think, you're trying to have this big Divas revolution because of basically all the women brought to the forefront in today's sports. But however, if you're going to just throw it at us every week, AJ is gone, and to me, she was what wrestling should be for that division, an actual wrestler who didn't talk but went out there and did their job. And, well, when she did have to speak, it was very short, and then she went out and proved herself week after week. Where we have Sasha and Charlotte and all the NXT girls just wham, there they are one night on Raw because we need a revolution. I don't really think that's the way we should have brought them into the picture. They should have had to fight a little bit harder than just, we need some help here with Paige and trying to get her more established. I really think that they lost the ball there. And then, of course, they had the match between Paige and Sasha, and of course Sasha won. That was just another match I really wasn't paying attention to. I don't think that match even deserved to be on Raw for the simple fact it was a waste of time. Tonight it seemed like there were so many matches that were just space fillers or slot fillers, if you will, that it just was not a great match night. And of course, Renee got to interview Seth Rollins backstage, and that was a little bit of a waste of time as well. Rusev and Summer Rae was walking backstage for a surprise that was going to take place. The interesting thing I thought was interesting was for the gamers out there, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as he will be the Terminator as a playable character in the WWE 2K16 game. Then they came back from break, and Rusev was out there with Summer Rae, and Rusev basically was saying that he's now with Summer Rae and was giving her all these gifts and poking fun at Dolph Ziggler and of course Lana, this was probably the best part of Raw, was Lana stood up for herself and went out there and was like, I'm not going to take your crap no more. I'm going to take the fight to you. And she sure did. So that part was probably the best part of Raw. Then, of course, we had the Lucha Dragons versus the Los Matadors, with primetime players sitting at ringside. And the New Day came out at the end to kind of get this whole feud to continue going. The Lucha Dragons won, but really, who was paying attention? The Wyatt family then had a moment tonight, as I call it, a moment, because it seems like there was another time filler. I really didn't care what they were talking about, and I really didn't pay attention. Charlotte, Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. Are we really trying to push the Total Divas show? Is that why we're doing so many Divas matches all of a sudden? I feel like they're just throwing it at us and being like, okay, here's the Diva division. We're going to build this up and we're going to make it like the old days. Well, you can't do that. And there's so much missing from WWE Raw of the Attitude Era that is not carried over into the Altitude Era. And I don't want to see all these high flyers. Great, they can do high flying moves, but I really don't want to see that. Give me the good talkers on the microphone. Give me the I can't wait to see what's going to happen next moments. Give me the oh my gee moments, but where has Raw really went? Becky Lynch won for whatever it's worth. Then we have Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Now this match was actually a good match. Sheamus came out for commentary, and it was a very good back and forth match. Orton did some really great moves, and of course winner was Randy Orton, and Sheamus got involved, and of course Cesaro came out to help Orton. That, I think, was a very great point in Raw. Just wanted to give them their due. Then we got to see Renee Young backstage again, interviewing John Cena. Enough already. Then they got that was basically to build the heat, though, for the Seth Rollins and John Cena match, which I gotta say, this was a good match because Cena really, he didn't quit. He never gave up. He took the fight to Seth Rollins each and every time. And every time that we thought that we were going to count him out, he basically said absolutely not, and with his body. And he put his money where his mouth was, and he actually won this match, but with a broken nose. That poor ending. Oh my gosh. You have to see that ending. I really feel bad for him. As for will I be doing this every week? I don't know. A fan asked me to do the Raw review like I used to do, so how could I turn that down? So this is for my blonde bombshell believers out there who miss their wrestling diva with the knowledge. And I don't know. Never say never, as the WWE would say, because the best is yet to come.